You know, so many houses these days, the garage is the front of the house and defines the overall look of it.
Do they even match?
This week, we're helping a first-time homeowner tackle a functional facelift on his 55-year-old home.
I've kind of wondered, what else do I need to do to make it look nice?
Homeowners love a good, straightforward, practical approach to home improvement.
Not every home needs a total overhaul.
That's why we focus on small projects that'll make a big difference.
Oh my
Gosh, yes!
Chelsea always has some great ideas for homeowners.
And Dad's practical knowledge with his fun-loving attitude is why we've been around for so long.
The most realistic, most current home improvement information you're going to find anywhere. Pretty slick, huh?
Families that improve their homes together stay together.
This house from the mid-1960s belongs to first-time homeowner Aaron Caldwell.
I bought my house a little over 3 years ago. It was built in 1966. I'm the second owner of the house. So I actually live very close to my family. We share things all the time, help each other with projects, and then just get together on weekends and hang out. My sister was actually on Today's Homeowner about a year ago and did a project on her breezeway, which was awesome. And it was exciting for me to see the results of it.
And now Aaron's hoping we can help him with a project on his house.
I really started with the inside of the house. I've redone the kitchen, pretty much painted all the walls. I'm really trying to make it look nicer on the outside now after the years of fixing up the inside. I had an asphalt driveway that I took up and put a new concrete driveway down. That's really the biggest thing I did to the outside of the house. I've kind of wondered, what else do I need to do to make it look nice?
So many houses these days, the garage is the front of the house.
Yeah, that's a lot of surface area.
Yeah, it's a lot of surface area and defines the overall look of it. Seems like that one's kind of askew or something.
So the garage doors on the house are extremely old. The door on the left actually does not open from the outside. So if I'm coming in from the outside, I have to manually open the one on the right, come in the garage, and then open the left one from the inside, which is fun.
Anytime you have a house that has garage doors on the front, man, it can make a big difference by changing those doors out.
Yeah, but for Aaron, changing them out will improve the functionality 100-fold.
Yeah, it's not working too well right now.
No.
I think they're fiberglass, and they were kind of this yellow color. I think it just kind of faded in time. So we used a wood stain to actually make them this brown color.
Yeah.
It was really just kind of trying to make it look a little nice from the road and buy some time until I had to do something else.
Seemed like I brought up a sore subject
I
there,
know,
didn't it?
geez.
It was getting closer on my list of things to look into, but I hadn't quite gotten there just yet. I've really kind of hit a wall where I don't really know what else to do. A lot of times I'll call my mom and say, hey, what should I do? An example is kind of the flower bed. Last spring I tried to put a little flower bed there and it didn't last. I would say that I'm pretty good at ripping bushes out and terrible at putting them back. I don't know what to plant, where to plant it. Pretty much any landscaping decision ultimately is routed through my mom because I have no idea. We replaced the windows and they look awkward,
There's a lot of space up there. It's like maybe some shutters would help ground them. Driveway is obviously newer concrete than the rest of the house. So maybe there's a way that we can get the different concrete surfaces to match.
The concrete in the garage and on the front porch is probably from 1966, and it's faded to this kind of orangey concrete color.
Wrought iron, do you like the wrought iron?
I do, but it doesn't really seem to match anything.
Did you paint it recently?
I did. Originally it was white, so I didn't feel like I had really any choice other than to try to blend it in and kind of hide it.
A lot of wrought iron's like peeling and rusty, but yours looks good.
The backside is not as
Don't
pretty.
look at the backside. Now I gotta check it out.
You mentioned your mom. She might be available for a little work this week?
I may enlist her for a little bit. Beg for some help. A lot of times I just call my mom and ask her, like, hey, what would you do here? What should I do? Design is just not a strong suit of mine.
So Aaron gets some help from the Wayne Dalton Garage Door Design Center to pick out the perfect doors. Once the new door installation is scheduled, we return to start on the other work.
Good morning, good morning. I'll bet you'll be glad to get rid of those doors.
Oh, absolutely.
I really like the style you picked out. It kind of makes me think of like a Craftsman style. And thinking of Craftsman, the wrought iron doesn't really match that. So I would like to eliminate that.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The problem with eliminating all of it, we've got a lot of load-bearing issues there, and apparently this carport was built on at some point of the garage.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of weight out here, so we're going to have to rely on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Going with a 6x6 wood column in the place of the wrought iron will match the Craftsman style, and then we can paint it to match the trim and the siding that you already have going on.
Okay.
And then we're going to go ahead and coat this, but we're going to need to do some pressure washing. Are you comfortable doing some pressure washing?
You know, I've pressure washed plenty of times, but I know somebody who is so much better than me.
Oh,
so.
well, that's
Professional.
Oh, professional.
To keep your garage door operating smoothly, it's a great idea to lubricate it at least once a year. But first, you want to make sure you're using the right lubricant. You want to use a white lithium grease, never a thin silicone spray or a degreaser like WD-40. The white lithium grease is nice and thick and it'll stay in place. Also, you don't want to lubricate any stationary parts like the track in particular because the door can slip. What you want to lubricate, starting with the rollers. I'm going to use this piece of cardboard just so I don't get lubricant all over every place. And just lubricate, the roller passes through this fixture, so just lubricate right in there. That's all. You don't need any more than that. And of course, you wind up doing all the rollers. Also up here, you want to do the torsion spring. That's this long spring right here. Again, I'll use the cardboard just so I don't make a mess. And you want to spray all along the entire spring. Beautiful, just like that. And of course, you want to do the other half of the spring. Then up here, this piece, this silver piece is called the carrier, and it slides along the rail. If you're going to lubricate this, always lubricate the top, which is the bearing surface, not the bottom, because it's not really making any contact there. Now, once you've lubricated all those moving parts, your garage door will not only operate more smoothly, but a lot quieter too.
It just swung out at the bottom.
After the break,
These things weren't even really in there.
Aaron's 1960s era home needs a facelift, and he's recruited his mom, Michelle, to help with one of the first chores, pressure washing.
Moms would do anything for their favorite child.
He was standing over my shoulder, you know, the whole time, watching me pressure wash, and he said, well, I really feel like I should do something. And I thought, well, I think you should do something too.
Yeah, I would get that too.
He'll owe me.
Meanwhile, John arrives with the materials we need to replace these wrought iron columns.
Once we jacked the soffit up a little bit, it just swung out at the bottom. So my initial thought is, wow, these things weren't even really in there. And we grabbed it and kind of pulled it out at the top, and those nails or screws weren't really holding anymore.
After we knock the wrought iron out of the way, the screw heads are left behind.
Right, yeah, well, that's what a grinder's for. Because if we try to pull those out, a lot of times it'll break the concrete, but we can grind them, use a little galvanized saddle, secure it down through the concrete. Well, you bought a heavy one, didn't you? There you go, perfect, perfect. And then screw it into the side of the column, and that really holds it really well.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Not at all.
So the first column went up, and you know, it's like, wow, you know, that wood compared to the iron next to it, it's just completely different. It's like, you know, this is looking great.
But of course, all of this has to come out, but we'll get these handrails. You comfortable with this menacing machine?
Yeah, I think so. I'm ready.
Oh man, that's a two-man piece of rail right here.
Once we cut that fence out, the porch looked so much bigger.
I didn't realize how much of the house was hidden behind the ornate iron rails. As they come off, it's just amazing. The whole house opened up. It looked bigger and it looked more welcoming and definitely more modern.
Power wash looks good.
Well, thank you.
The front of this house already has a lot of brown and beige going on, so I'm sanding the doors to get them ready for a fresh coat of paint that's going to add a lot of color to the front of this house. Okay, I thought Aaron needed a blue door.
To be honest, I have to be really honest, at first I didn't Love the color. It looked like a baby blue in the bucket. Oh, wow, look at that. But after we got it on and then it started to dry, it dried darker and it dried darker. And it looks fabulous now. I think it's got a gray undertone that kind of blends with the house. So I do like it now, but at first I didn't love it.
Hey, these look pretty good. You want to go ahead and start on the 1x6 trim around the bottom?
Yeah, you want the outside mitered or butted?
Mitered.
Okay, no problem.
And I mean tight mitered, just tight. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I do have some caulk in case anything goes wrong.
Oh, good.
Do you have to fight the mom urge to like come over here and tell him all the things that he needs to do all the time?
Yes, I do. I try to keep, I try really hard to give him his space, and sometimes I'm like, do you need to clean?
She's told me multiple times, hey, you should really hire a housekeeper.
I try not to stay in his business too much. I just let him have a dirty house, but
We just have different standards of cleanliness.
he could use some help. Seriously, he needs a house cleaning service.
I can live in it.
Man, that made it look a lot better, didn't it?
I think so.
Okay, thinking about some trim up top here. I wasn't planning on doing anything, but then I started thinking we ripped down this 1x4, half of a 1x4, and then I'm just thinking, just tuck that there. It'll stay behind that freeze board, and it'll just finish that out. What do you think?
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Well, good. Well, since you've thought about it, then I'll let you install them then.
Well,
Is that okay?
That's an even better idea.
Even better. Good, good. Okay.
That way it's done right.
So I got two different types of shutters, but the best way to decide which ones to use is to see them in place.
Okay, I'll get the ladder out. I know where I'm headed. We have a
Okay.
couple choices here. Slightly different look. Opinions. Remember, we're on a roof.
There's so much space on either side of Aaron's upper windows that I'm thinking a wider shutter will add a little more drama than a standard size shutter. I like the white one.
I think I agree
All
with you. I
right.
like the white one too.
You win.
Just
I
a little
win.
bigger.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wider and it's like simpler.
Right.
That was easier, much easier than I thought.
Cool.
Nice. You like it, Aaron?
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, yeah.
I trust,
Okay,
I trust y'all.
I guess we should ask him his opinion. I mean, it's his house and everything. So I heard Aaron mention staining the columns.
I don't know. Can you stain that wood?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I do love a wood tone, but in this case, we have the painted trim touching the columns. I think the columns need to match the trim.
The other issue with stain is she said, hey, you're going to have to stain this once a year. And I said, no.
So at the end of the day, Aaron's homework assignment is priming those columns to prepare them for paint.
Electric mowers are becoming more and more popular, and as they are, they're getting better and better. And Milwaukee has a great example right here. Look how big this mower is. This isn't some tiny little electric mower. This is a full Mac Daddy. Now, it operates on 2 M18 Milwaukee batteries. So you pop them in place right there. Now, once you've turned it on, you're going to have more maximum torque than a 200cc engine. That's a lot. That's typically on a riding lawnmower. But let me show you some other options. Of course, when you turn it on, look, if it starts to get dusk or you want to finish that project at night, you just pop on the headlights and you can finish your project. Another thing I like about this is very easy to raise and lower the blades so that you get the right height on your grass. And because it's electric, no more pull starts. You gotta love that.
This Best New Product segment is brought to you by the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Coming up,
I found the original plans for the house. Look at that.
So it kind of went full circle back to the way it originally was.
we're giving Aaron's house a facelift, and at the start of day 2, the biggest change begins with the arrival of the new garage doors. The installer's first chore is removing the rickety existing doors and beefing up the framing around the openings so the new doors can withstand greater wind loads.
All right, so you told me the name of your siding color. So I took that color and went 2 shades darker
Okay.
to get the shutter.
Gotcha.
So let's see. I thought we could paint a sample and then hold it up to make sure we like it before we paint all the shutters.
I do like that color.
All right, well, let's go check it out, and then we can get the shutters painted before we hang them up. All right, what do we think? The sun's kind of shiny.
Yeah, I like it.
It's I think it complements it.
It complements it really
Same
well.
undertones.
The color was just fabulous. It kind of tied the whole downstairs in with the upstairs.
A lot of those color decisions, I'm like, hey, you pick, you tell me. It looks brown, cool.
While John is getting the shutters painted, I'm gonna get Dad set up on cleaning up some of this landscaping. But I was thinking that we would turn this little area into a new flower bed so that Aaron has more plants to kill.
Oh, Mom will make sure I water these.
Yeah, they'll be watered for sure.
So it seems like Aaron is scared of watering his plants.
Scared of, forgets to, same thing. But while y'all are doing that, don't get any dirt on the patio because Michelle and I are gonna work on a coating.
All right. Well, we'll start getting these bricks out of your way then first.
All right.
So this is a two-step coating. This terrazzo coating is perfect for a front porch because it adds a little texture so it's not going to be slippery. And the color we chose ties in with the lighter, fresh concrete right next to it.
While Aaron and I clean out the dead landscaping, the garage door installers are setting the new doors in place. Next, we're ready to hang those shutters.
While I'm picking out plants to freshen up Aaron's landscaping, he and Michelle are painting the new columns.
Your house is looking good.
I know, it almost doesn't even look like the same house.
It seems like he's been happy that I'm here. So it's great for me as a mom to be here.
Boy, you might have another career as a painter. That looks pretty good.
Thank you.
And I love how
I appreciate
this
it.
color goes
Hey,
together.
check this out. So I found the original plans for the
Oh,
house.
man, I love original plans like that. Hand drawn.
Look at that. I was like, you know, I should dig those out and just see what it looks like. Like, what was the original plan and what was the original design? See, it looks like the original plans had 6x6 columns on there.
So that wrought iron was not original then?
No, it doesn't look like it.
Oh, my.
How
Oh,
about
look at that. And there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
How about that?
We're kind of restoring it back to the original design, which was really cool to see.
I knew what we were doing all along.
To address the discolored concrete in front of the new garage doors, we're mixing some Portland cement and water to form a paste that we'll paint onto the old surface to help it blend in with the brand new driveway.
Dad, I spent a lot of time picking out drought-friendly plants for Aaron's house, but they still need some water.
Yeah, well, that's probably a good idea for this particular situation, but I think I have a perfect solution for it.
Hey, Danny, I really like these plants,
Man, it turned out great, but you know, you're going to have to water these things.
Yeah, I do.
Not like the ones I saw here before.
I'm not so good at that.
Well, we're going to make it real easy on you. Soaker hose, which is exactly the same length that we have here.
Oh, that is awesome. I didn't know a soaker hose existed.
Then a simple timer, foolproof.
So having a soaker hose and a timer, surely he can keep plants alive.
I'm not even gonna have to remember to water these.
You basically have no excuses.
If I knew that, maybe my original plants wouldn't have died.
I really am excited about that timer. I'm not kidding y'all.
Aaron's house was suffering from an identity crisis. The clean, modern lines in the structure were confused by the wrought iron columns. The new driveway and windows were offset by the old concrete and ancient garage doors. Nothing seemed to fit together, least of all the parched landscaping. But now, the house has found itself. The new garage doors add character, making them a focal point on the house rather than something to overlook. The new columns and shutters work with the home's clean lines instead of against them. And the terrazzo coating on the porch defines it and separates it from the driveway. Plus the new front door color and the lush landscaping create the perfect welcome for Aaron's guest.
I never thought the house could even look that good. You know, it looks phenomenal. It almost looks like a completely different house. It's so much more modern, up to date. Both garage doors, you know, the color blends with the house. It looks like it was supposed to be there the whole time. It looks awesome. Seeing the door go up by itself the first time was so cool. Now I've got automatic, insulated, up-to-date doors. You know, I don't think I could ask for anything else. I'm proud of the front of my house now. It looks like home.
You know, I just love curb appeal projects because you can do just a few simple things that'll have a really big impact on how the outside of your house looks. And think about it, when you drive up each day, you can say, yeah, I did that. Hey, thanks so much for being with me and Chelsea here on today's Homeowner. Come see us again next week.
Yeah, there we go. Come on, there we go.
Oh!
I thought you were holding it.
I didn't know I was holding it. We'll get it better the next time.
These kids, I tell you.